Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Laura and today we're going to do another pick a card reading, and this time we are asking how do they currently feel. I want to do a nice relationship check-in, but specifically focusing in on the person that you're in a relationship with or dating or talking to or concerned about. Clearly you selected this video with a certain person in mind. So what I need you to do right now is to ask out loud or in your head very clearly, how does blank, name of your person, feel about me? What is the truth of their feelings? What's going on? How do they feel in general? Just in life in general, where are they at? Let's check into them, our shared energy connection. What do I need to know about this person's feeling in order to sustain and maintain the highest possible connection with them that is best for both of us, that is best for the greatest good? And once you've set that intention, take a look at all three groups on screen, all three cards on screen. These are cards from the Lover's Oracle. Just select whichever one you feel most drawn to. There's different artwork on them. We have group number 1 right here. It looks like there are two bodies sort of intertwined, almost like trees, but not quite. We have group number 2 that has a tree with various symbols and hearts around it, nice geometric patterns. And then we have group number 3 with the white dove, and it has a white circle above its head and some sort of plant in its mouth. Select whichever group you feel most drawn to. Go with your gut, go with your intuition. And before we begin, I always set this intention. These are group readings. Take what resonates from them, leave anything that doesn't resonate, because sometimes there could be some messages that come through that aren't for you, but it's for someone else, and that's fine. Other times you may watch these readings and it may feel like a personal reading, like everything resonates, and that's fine as well. So it's just important to listen to your own intuition. And even when something doesn't resonate, that gives you some answers as well. The whole point of these readings here on YouTube is to get you to listen to your intuition, because your psychic intuition is stronger than anyone else's when it comes to your own life. Okay, and if you want a personal reading where I'm only focusing on you, I do offer that. That is on my website, spiritpsychic.org. I love connecting with you guys in personal readings, and you don't have to schedule it. You just purchase your reading, send me your questions, your information, and I send you your reading back within 7 days. I also offer shamanic life coaching sessions, 12 weeks with an hour-long reading each week based off of whatever we talk about, whatever questions you have, whatever you want. And that includes daily email correspondence as well, so we can just chat and talk about whatever the heck you want. And I'll also send you some beautiful spiritual tools to create the most life transformation for you within the shortest amount of time possible, completely changing your life in 12 weeks. So go to my website, spiritpsychic.org, sign up for those things. And otherwise, let's begin. Hello, group number 1, and welcome. The rune that came out for you, which is going to represent your person's overall feelings right now, where they're at in life, is Lagus, and it's coming out in reverse. So this is the rune of water. Your person is doing a tremendous amount of emotional processing right now. So I don't know what's going on in their life specifically, but it definitely feels like their emotional state is very, very high. They may be really happy about some things in life, and they may be really depressed and mourning in other areas of life. So it's a bit complicated. Like there's a lot of complicated emotional processing that they're going through right now. They may have days where they're feeling on top of the world, and they may have days where they are mentally, emotionally taking a step back and falling into old patterns, habits, emotions, etc. So I understand why you wanted to watch a video like this, because, you know, this person's emotions and what they're going through may be very difficult, very challenging. So I don't know, this person, there's many different examples of what they may be going through. Perhaps they are going through a separation, a breakup with someone. Perhaps they have lost a loved one. Perhaps they are going through a rough time in their work, their career. There's just so many different scenarios in which this person may be going through. Here's your Lover's Oracle that you selected. And the message is wait. Don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. Yeah. So group number 1, it is going to take some time. Time is on your side here. Time will heal the emotional wounds and processing that this person is going through. It is important for you, group number 1, to not try to put out their fires, to not try to solve their problems for them and overly try to guide them and waste a lot of your own time in the process, just mentally processing things for them. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I feel like intuitive people, and women especially, I don't even want to limit it to that. If you're watching, you may be somebody who, when somebody tells you like, oh, I have this chronic issue, or I'm going through this, you may be the type of person to start researching on the internet, books, or talking to friends, trying to solve that person's problems for them, trying to process their wounds for them, taking on their emotions for them. And group number 1, that complicates things. Okay? Spirit is saying it is not your duty, it is not your job to mourn for this person, to move on for this person. Time is on their side. They may, for example, be detangling themselves from the past. And it is up to them to make the decisions that lead them in the best, strongest possible situation. It is up to them to build a strong foundation within themselves from which you guys can build together. So with Lagoose in reverse, there's so much uncertainty, and they may be going back and forth in their mind. Some days they may be really clear-headed and excited to build a future with you, excited to move forward in their life in general, excited to build a future for themselves. They may be very future-oriented, at peace with the past, at peace with what needs to leave and exit their life. And then on other days, they may go back, the memories. Oh, that's my comfort zone. Healing is not linear. And some days we may feel very healed and very at peace with where things are going, and other days our heads may be in the past and still doing some heavy emotional processing work there. This person, if I were them, I would be journaling every day. I would be going to therapy, possibly, if that's a possibility, if I had the time to do that. I would be talking to friends. Now, this person, they might not have the time, the resources, the space, the energy to really process wounds in the way that you might think they should be processing wounds. But I definitely think that time and a lot of open conversation will really help here. And there may be some elements, some practical elements that may go into this as well. So for example, if they're really stressed out because they're going to school right now and they can't really offer a strong foundation for you and your relationship just yet, once they graduate, things may improve. Or if it's like they are moving through a death in the family and they're trying to get all of that person's paperwork in order and, sell their house, figure out what to do with their belongings. It's like that practical element until those things are resolved, that'll be a big turning point for them emotionally and thus for your relationship emotionally. I hope that makes sense. We have the blue moon, believe in the impossible. Wow, and there is a lot of blue energies here, just with the cards that I've selected. Blue represents the throat chakra. I am picking up, it's very strange. I am picking up on a lot of excitement and happiness for the future that they feel, perhaps towards you, your shared future. But at the same time, there's also a lot of more depressing emotions or anxiety emotions that they're working through as well simultaneously. So like I said, this person's going through some emotionally complex situations. And I feel like that doesn't mean that that has to be a deal breaker. As long as the two of you are keeping open dialogue and working as a team, and for the most part, overall, you're both making decisions that say, I want to build a future here. I want to have a strong foundation with you. I think this can all work out. We have the unicorn spirits coming through. Yeah, I'm starting to pick up on some of the sweeter, more lighter emotions that this person is carrying. They do not want to lose you at all. They believe that they have found a unicorn, okay? And unicorn spirit is very pure, very loving. So they view you as this extremely pure-hearted person who has a ton of wisdom that most other people do not carry. Additionally, you're physically beautiful. And I'm seeing here, you guys may speak the same love language. The way that you love, the way that you carry yourself and your emotions may be very, very similar. So they're viewing you as like a unicorn. And it's like they're wanting to do anything and everything to keep you in their life. They view you as somebody who doesn't even seem human. Like you're some sort of angelic being, some sort of siren, some sort of mystical, otherworldly entity who just so happened to incarnate as a human in this lifetime. And they're like, oh my gosh, I get to be with this person. I get to talk to this person. I get to spend time with this person. They have a fear here of losing you. And it's tricky because they don't want what they are going through emotionally right now to be the reason why you walk away. But at the same time, they don't want to sweep their problems and their emotions under the rug, because I feel like this person is intelligent enough, emotionally intelligent enough to understand that that would lead to resentment and all sorts of issues down the road if they ignore their problems now. So they're trying to strike the perfect balance between making space for themselves and their healing and their emotional processing versus making time for you, nurturing you, uplifting you, supporting you, and letting you feel seen and loved. Very beautiful. This is refreshing. I feel like this person is actually emotionally mature. Very, very refreshing to do a reading like this. And we see the full moon here behind the unicorn's head, as well as the full blue moon in the Moonology oracle as well. This person's emotions towards you are high, intense. Their emotions in general are very, very intense. And they have Lagus, the rune of water. They are holding an ocean of emotions right now. And you may see that in their eyes all of the time. You know, moments where they look like they're about to cry, moments where they look like they're deeply in love with you, moments where they seem stressed, like they really carry so many emotions right now, and they're moving through all of that and making space for all of that. We have despondence with the third eye chakra, and we see some, I believe these are violets that are creeping up this person's body, and she seems pregnant with the world, free, loving, wonderful. And then we have someone more judgy, jealous on the side here. When this person is with you, they are incredibly happy, and it feels like the two of you have the ability to access really like otherworldly level of love. So many people in this world struggle in relationships to just really bare their souls to each other and communicate about everything under the sun. Sexually, a lot of people have a hard time just being able to let go and fall back into their animalistic sort of lust that is just beautiful to experience without, while being sober. And I feel like the two of you are really able to easily tap into the more magical, mystical sides of your relationship. They really feel like they're in a dream state with you. However, this is starkly contrasting the past life that they're letting go of and everything that they've experienced before you. It's not even comparable. It was nowhere near the level of communication and just raw animalistic chemistry and simultaneously higher chakra levels of connection, spiritual soul recognition. They didn't really experience that in their past, in previous relationships. So when they're with you, it feels like a dream. But it so starkly contrasts everything else in their life because they didn't even recognize like this level of love and existence can exist before you. And so right now it seems like they're in a transitional phase in their life where they're faced with releasing and letting go of all that was for them that now feels to be blocking your connection, blocking your relationship. You know what this is? I feel like your aura, your energy, group number 1, triggered a spiritual awakening in this person, a kundalini awakening in this person. And if any of you are familiar with the kundalini, with raising one's vibration drastically in a short amount of time, what happens is that your reality as you know it tends to crumble. When you experience a massive, like sort of soul elevation, accessing higher parts of your energy, unlocking more of your mind, unlocking and just seeing more, becoming more conscious, you no longer resonate with some of the people, environments, and circumstances that you once did resonate with. Because when you do a massive shift internally, your external life will also shift just as quickly, right? Because your inner vibration reflects itself externally. And I see that this person is juggling two different versions of themselves. The version of themselves that they were before they met you, and the version of themselves that they now realize they can be since meeting you. And they like that latter version a lot more. But it is difficult. It's one of the hardest things in the world to let go of what is familiar, to release what is known. And so this person, they're going through so many emotions right now just from meeting you. You introduced a whole new reality that is possible for this person. You opened up so many doors for this person. But in order to walk through those doors and say yes to this, it requires them closing a lot of doors and saying no. Every time you say yes to something, you also have to say no to other things. Because you only have so much time in a day. You only have so much consciousness. We have embracing. Very beautiful. And we see here what appears to be a sunset or the sun coming up. And I feel like the fact that we don't know which one it is very telling. Because this person is starting to embrace the endings, the things that are, setting in their life, while simultaneously starting to embrace, the sun going up in their life, their future with you. and a new reality that they now know is possible opening up for them. But processing all of this is another story. And it will take some time, especially if you guys are going through some pretty big life changes, like new relationship, old relationships ending, moving, growing, developing. This all needs time to process. And I feel like that's why you selected the card that said, wait, don't rush into it. Allow nature to take its course. You don't want to rush into like an incredible union or marriage or any more big life changes with this person just yet, because what I'm seeing is that they need to, on their own, mentally, physically, and emotionally, detangle the past from themselves, let that dust settle, build their strong foundation, and move forward. And when the time is right, the time is right. In the meantime, group number 1, I think it's very important for you to continue maintaining and nurturing your own life. You have your own problems that you need to figure out as well, by the way. You have your own things in life that need focus and attention. Keep focusing on that. We have storm warning in reverse. So this is actually a positive card in reverse, because it shows that the chaos, the turbulence, the insanity that you've been experiencing with this person these past few weeks and months is starting, like it's exiting, it's on its exit path now. The dust still needs to be settled and a new foundation needs to be rebuilt. But, I feel like there's something about the two of you coming together initially that like awakened this storm. You being your unicorn self, you just have an aura of a very intense aura, whether you realize it or not. And it's not just this person. You trigger other people, awakenings in so many people, just because of all of the work that you've done on yourself, group number 1, and the wisdoms that you're tapped into, the things, the work you've done on yourself, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. Like, you have a palpable aura. You are nearly, if not completely, a self-actualized individual. And simply by being at such a high vibration, you trigger lots of change in people. And you're almost like this beacon of light. I feel like that's the best way I could describe this. You're a beacon of light, right? So when people connect with you, suddenly their shadows, what's not working in their life, the masks they wear, etc., becomes strongly illuminated, right? And so that's why you may find, like, when you first connect with people, it tends to be at times in their life where either right before you meet them, they're going through some intense, crazy change, or shortly after you meet them, they start going through some intense, crazy changes. And yeah, it is triggered by you. It is triggered by your energy. If they are just going through changes before they meet you, it is because of that they vibrationally are a match to you. And then from meeting you, everything that they need to know is illuminated, thus creating so much more change in their life. So anyways, you worked through this storm with them, right? There could have been some boundaries that needed to be set in this relationship, especially in terms of, not carrying the past into the future and not choosing fear and choosing comfort, but instead choosing love and choosing hope and choosing the newer energies that are much healthier and beautiful. And so, you guys had to do a lot of work moving through all of that, right? That storm is on its way out now, which is really promising. And, it's not completely cleared out and settled just yet, but you definitely may be feeling energetically that, the worst is behind you. There's definitely still some emotional processing this person has to do, some detangling from their past, some detangling from what once was and who they once were. But this is work that they have to do on their own now, group number 1. So your message is to work on yourself. What are some things, because, relationships are mirrors into your own soul. So we're sitting here looking at this person, but we're also looking at you. What past stories are you ready to be done and over with? And that could be anything. That could be in your relationships and friendships. That could be past stories of debt and poverty. That could be past stories of loneliness and rejecting community. That could be anything. Past stories of being unhealthy. While this person emotionally processes, you may be feeling impatient. Like, man, I'm already emotionally ready to build a future here. I don't want to wait for this person to work through their issues. And the message is, don't wait. Focus on you. Some beautiful friendships that present themselves to you at this time. Focus on getting yourself out of your own problems, whether that be debt or health issues or fill in the blank. Spend a lot of time by yourself doing the things that you love. Sometimes in relationships, we can really become obsessed with each other and start neglecting things like friendships or going to the gym or focusing on hobbies, things like that. At this time, this person's settling their own storm. You're being asked to return back to yourself. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, you may be feeling emotionally really ready. This person may need a little bit of extra emotional time right now to really work through some things. We have the Queen of Pentacles. There is a high level of commitment here. This person wants to nurture and protect you and provide nice things for you because they view you, or you may view them, as this Queen of Pentacles. Very just, your soul is prosperous and you're hardworking, self-made. We have the Seven of Cups. I feel like there's obviously at any given moment so many future paths in which situations can go down and take place. And so you, group number 1, may have been feeling a little bit anxious recently in previous weeks because, it's like, is this person going to choose going back to their past? Are they going to keep things unclear? Or are they going to choose a strong future foundation with me? Look to their actions. What have they done thus far? Action-wise. It may be a little bit of both. They may have been flip-flopping back and forth action-wise. Doing some actions that really show how committed they are to a future here with you, and others that, really reflect the sadness and ties to the past that they're still troubled with. So there may have been some emotional unclarity, anxieties that you've been faced with recently. We have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. I really feel that this person is committed to the long-term growth and success of this relationship. And even though they have so much going on emotionally, so much on their mind right now that they're having to work through and process, I feel like they are doing that. And you just need a little time here. Don't rush, focus on you. We have the Seven of Wands. However, in this process, keep holding your boundaries. Okay? So a boundary you might set may look like, listen, I don't want to be romantically tied to someone who is still friends with their ex or people they have a history with. That's my personal boundary. I'm not trying to control you. I just know that I will not be at peace in a relationship like that. So if those friendships are really important and valuable to you, we might have to end things. That's an example of a boundary that protects your peace and ensures, that we're moving on the right path here. We're setting a strong foundation for our future. And, sometimes what people do, and I'm so guilty of doing this myself, so I really empathize with this, but sometimes what people do is it's hard to completely let go of the past, especially when you had a beautiful relationship with someone, a strong kinship, strong connection, but maybe there was some toxicity there and it's time to let that connection go. sometimes what people do is, because, mourning that and letting that go is really difficult. Sometimes subconsciously they want to hang on to that connection any way they can. Oh, well, let's just be friends. Let's do this. Let's do that. And it sort of pushes that mourning process, that letting go process, that release process back and back and back, and keeps the emotions very confusing with the 7 of Cups, right? And so as someone on the outside looking in to this person's life, you may have to set some boundaries here. Like, listen, if we're going to be in a romantic relationship, if we're going to be something deep, something committed here, or if we're going to date, I'm sorry, but you hanging on to that past really makes me anxious, really is not the vibe that I'm looking for. And that's fine if you want to do that, but I cannot continue forward with you if that is the case. And that's a perfectly reasonable boundary to set. That's not you controlling them. You controlling them is saying you're not allowed to be friends with these people. That's control. Boundary is, I'm going to have a nightly anxiety attack if you're friends with these people, if you keep these toxic connections in your life. And for my own peace, I don't think I can be deeply, intimately connected with someone who still holds on to their past in that way. And that's all protecting your peace, okay? Like, that is perfectly reasonable. And when you approach boundaries like that from I statements, like, this is how I feel and this is what I need to do in order to protect my peace, it is much, much, much better heard and received, as opposed to, you need to do this. It's your responsibility. The only person responsible for your well-being and your happiness, group number 1, is yourself. And that's why we have to speak in I statements. We have the Ace of Wands in reverse. Yeah, I definitely feel like some passion, some warmth, that initial spark that you guys had may have waned a little bit because of all of the watery emotions that this person's going through. This person has a lot of water energy moving through them. And it may actually be reflected in their decor, by the way. If you guys share a home, or if they have their own home, there may be a lot of blues, a lot of water, blacks, anything feng shui that represents water. You may be noticing that. And that's a reflection of this person's energy right now. But, that water element kind of opposes the fire, passion, spark, romance that you guys have been trying to build up and maintain. And by the way, that's fine. Passion ebbs and flows. And when we're in the situations where we're having to do some deep emotional processing work, we might not necessarily be as horny, as fiery, as passionate as we once were. And this is a temporary thing that your relationship may go through. We have death in reverse. Wow. I mean, this really summarizes everything we were talking about. This person may have really been struggling to release and let go of their past. And that's okay. I think this is still salvageable as long as you take good care of yourself and you set boundaries. What are you willing to accept versus not accept in your relationship with this person? Communicate that openly and give them the choice. Like, what do you want to do? This is where I'm at. What do you want to do? I feel like there is a high probability that this person, if you set the boundaries right, I feel like there's a high probability that they will want to have something long lasting with you. They wouldn't want to give this relationship up. Now, if you approach it from you need to change your behavior, you need to do this and that type of place, they're going to get defensive, like anyone would. So I would not recommend doing that. Believe in the impossible. I really feel like this person has some releasing, some letting go that they need to do. And so do you, group number 1. While they're emotionally processing all of this, you need to be focusing on the things, the stories that you're sick of telling in your life. We gave all those examples earlier, but yeah, I feel like you guys are in a period where you just need a few months, is what I'm seeing. A few months of release, emotional processing, self-love, while still coming together and celebrating a relationship. And time is on your side here, okay? Thank you so much for joining me. Comment how this resonated down below. I'd be so curious to hear. Like this video, subscribe if you have not already. And if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course. So check it out. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 2, and welcome. Let's dive into this person's feelings towards you, your relationship, where they're at right now. How do they feel right now? You have Othala coming out as your rune. So this suggests that this person, there's something about their heritage, their origins, their family traditions that is really close to their heart right now. And they're feeling quite nostalgic, and something I feel like this is actually a very good sign, because this person, if you're not already married to them, they may really be thinking about that, like thinking about wanting marriage or a home or children, because this rune oftentimes signifies engagements, marriage, the birth of children, etc. You know, those traditional things that are traditional in like all cultures, right? They may be really feeling nostalgic about that, or desiring, I don't know, just that sense of tradition and passing the torch. So I feel like the energy is pretty good here. It definitely feels like this person's hometown family is on their mind quite a lot. If they live at a distance from their culture, their family, their origins, they may be really thinking about that. Okay. Something that I'm seeing here, if this person, like, for example, lives at a distance from family, or like they come from a different country or state or place, they may really want to visit with you sometime soon, is what I'm seeing. So they may be trying to, on the low key, like plan some sort of trip like that. Or even, let's just say you come from the same place. They may be wanting to take a trip that'll really connect them with their ancestors more. So for example, I live and grew up in the United States, but my ancestors are Irish, Swedish, German, Welsh, etc. So it's like, if I was this person, I would be wanting to, for example, like plan a nice trip with you to Ireland or something, because I'm having this hankering in my soul to connect with my heritage. Does that make sense? So that may be the case here. If this is a newer connection, this person's also wanting you to meet their family, their friends, see where they grew up. They're just feeling nostalgic. And if you've already been through all of that with this person, you've already been there, done that, there's something here about them wanting to connect with their child, their inner child, I mean. I don't know. I'll give you an example. My partner, whenever there's like a cute, adorable little baby around us, he always says like, oh my gosh, my uterus hurts. My, like, you know, like kind of like, oh my gosh, like I want a baby, but I don't actually want a baby. You know what I mean? This person may be in that energy of like just wanting these mushy, gushy things with you. And really craving the things that they enjoyed when they were younger, but wanting to enjoy that, I don't know, with children may be important to you guys. Even if you don't have any, can't have any, don't want any, even just like connecting with nieces and nephews or the younger generations in some way, maybe on this person's mind, which I think is natural at a certain age, a certain point in maturity. It becomes natural when you do a certain amount of self-work and reach a certain age, for a lot of people, not everyone, to, like, I don't know, just sort of positively contribute to future generations. So anyways, this is the Lover's Oracle card that you selected, and it says time. You are trying too hard, give it time. Yeah, all things will happen in divine timing. Similar message came out for group number 1. don't rush this. I don't feel like it needs to be rushed either, to be honest. If any of you are feeling anxious, like, oh my gosh, like, what if this person, especially if this is a new connection, oh my God, what if this person like wastes my time and they just want to date for like 10 years and they don't want to get married and that's what I want. And, you know, my clock's ticking, like, you know what I mean? If those thoughts are on your head, this person is not really seeming like they're going to do that, because what you need to know is that they're thinking about these things. So we have the gibbous moon. You're very close to achieving your goal. Exactly, guys. Don't self-sabotage this connection. And I'm talking to you. Don't self-sabotage this connection if it's really nice and you guys have a nice thing going. I think what you need to work through is your fears of abandonment. Now, it's a whole different story if, for example, you told this person from the very beginning you wanted to get married, you wanted to have kids, and now 9-10 years later, you're still not married. You know what I mean? That's a whole different story. And if that's the case for you, I think you have your answer here in this reading, and I don't think you need to keep watching. I think you know what to do. But I don't feel like that is like the case for like 98% of you guys watching. It feels like, you know, this is a connection where it feels like this person is about to, or really heavily thinking about, moving this connection forward pretty shortly. I would say maximum like a year from now, minimum like tomorrow, you know, like, you know what I mean? It feels like this person is wanting, oh, and Luna's here. This is my cat Luna, guys. She loves being on camera. Say hi to her. Pay your respects in the comments. I just feel like there may be a change in this relationship that's initiated from this person in the near future. And for whatever reason, y'all are feeling anxious that this is never going to happen or no developments will ever happen. I think you're going to get a lot of confirmation soon that this relationship is on a steady timeline and is growing in the direction that you want. And even if like it's not, like, say that you want to get married and you've only been dating this person for like a few months, you know, what may be coming soon might not necessarily be an engagement. It could be, but it could be very clear proof that this person is wanting to integrate their lives further with you. And they're trying to do it in a way that's very timely and healthy and secure, you know? So your spirit guides are basically just saying, chill out. Group number 2, all is well. Okay. We have passion. With the sacral chakra, guys, this person is very attracted to you. There's a lot of passion here. The vibes are good. Everything's honestly looking super healthy. And if you don't resonate with that message, then again, I think you have your answers. They're being represented by the nightingale. Whenever I see birds in readings, to me that really represents a feeling like this is spiritually aligned, because birds are the messengers of spirit, right? And they see things very, very clearly from a bird's eye point of view, bird's eye perspective. Birds have extremely good vision out of all of the animals. So to me, the vibe I'm picking up on is that this person feels like you're it, you're the one, and they're not wanting anything messy or complicated. To be honest, I feel like your own fears, group number 2, may be distorting this relationship a little bit. For example, when you're going through a depression, your mind will do everything in its power to convince you that no one loves you and that nothing's going to work out and that you're going to be abandoned. And it's like your depression is also a liar. You know what I mean? So I just feel like some of you need to hear that. Like sometimes it really is your own fears and poor mental health that will tell you these lies. And that may cause you to take certain actions or say certain things. And see, Luna's here to help because she's a very comforting, snuggly presence, you know. Those fears may have you saying things, accusing things, trying to manipulate the timeline and have tight control of this relationship. When in reality, it's like everything's actually fine. It's moving along quite quickly on a beautiful timeline. And it's just your fears that are distorting that beauty. And so group number 2, your message here is to choose love, not fear. Choose love, not fear. Do not listen to your fears. And I understand it. Like when you're depressed, when you're going through that, sometimes your fears can feel like intuition, or you're thinking to yourself, is this my intuition, or is this, you know, my own issue? And for your reading specifically, I mean, sometimes it is your intuition and your ego just wants something completely different from what your intuition's saying, and it causes you to put on blinders to red flags and things. But in other cases, like, no, it's actually a good relationship. It's a good situation that you're in, and it is your fears that distort that image. And that's when self-sabotage can happen, you know, trying to force outcomes, accuse people of things that they didn't even remotely do. Things like that is what I would avoid if I were you. We have forgiveness coming through. Beautiful. Not all relationships are perfect. And you need to forgive yourself as well as this person. And, you know, I just think both of you carrying this energy of forgiveness, because especially when you're in a newer relationship or just relationships in general, like your flaws will be seen. The things that you need to work on and work through will be seen. And as long as you have good, clear communication and you're both in this for the long haul, that's fine. You know, it's fine to have your fears, and, you know, it's fine to have your emotions. You're not too much. And relationships are all about supporting each other to become your best versions together. And so I think a lot of forgiveness is needed here, both towards yourself as well as this person, and vice versa. We have the Magician and the Mirror in reverse. Yeah, guys, again, it's really fascinating. Magician and the Mirror in reverse can show wanting to control a situation, like letting fear take the wheel, letting your past traumas take the wheel. And there could be like a fear of abandonment, a fear of betrayal, a fear of, you know, honesty lacking. Those fears may be present. And when they're present, it makes you want to know exactly when things are going to develop. Oh my gosh, Luna I'm putting your rune away. I'm sorry. Luna will not stop messing with it. And she always tries to eat the runes. I don't know why. Anyways, fears like that can create a sort of uptight energy. Now, for some reason, I feel like I'm connecting with a lot of your energies, group number 2, but I suppose for some of you, this may be your person as well that we're talking about. But, you know, I set the intention for this reading that we just are going to check into their feelings and see whatever needs to be said for the highest good of this relationship. So their feelings are pretty healthy, pretty stable. And you know what's like kind of hard to fathom? And I don't know if you guys have the same experience. For me, growing up in a sort of neglectful environment and a toxic household, it is kind of like, it was really hard for me to fathom that some people are just really stable and like consistently peaceful, if that makes sense. Like some people don't have some sort of crisis issue going on like on a weekly basis. Some people are just really fine, like 99% of the time. That was really hard for me to fathom when I started getting into actually healthy relationships. I kept waiting for some sort of drama to occur. I kept waiting for the ball to drop. I kept waiting for some truth to be revealed, and when you're actually with someone who is stable, secure, and knowing how to have healthy relationships, that day never really comes. But if your nervous system is so used to that due to your upbringing and all of the previous relationships you've been in, what will happen when you finally are with somebody who has a secure attachment style is that you may get anxious because it's like your nervous system is like in that pattern that it's always been in, but it's getting anxious at nothing. Like literally nothing. Like, oh, they must be hiding something. There must be something here. They must secretly hate me. There's something going on. They're cheating. And it's like, they're just vibing, actually. They just kind of have a lot of passion towards you and love you. And this person sees your past and sees what you've been through, and they want to provide you security and a type of love that you've never experienced before. That's pretty much it. There's no hidden secret drama here. So that's a really fascinating message. Some of you guys need to work on building a secure attachment within yourself. And I feel like your sense of security in this relationship will improve as a result. Yeah. There's no need to control or force any outcomes here. If you have a question about this relationship, simply ask. Like going back to that example, like if you know that you want to get married and that's something that you want, simply ask this person, is that what you want? And if so, what's your timeline for that? That's literally it. Like, that's literally all you have to do. If you need answers about anything in this relationship, all you have to do is ask them. And that's not weird. They're not going to be like, oh my gosh, you're so weird. Like, you're asking too much. Like, or you're putting pressure on. Like, no. That is the response that you might have gotten in the past from weak, insecure people. But it's perfectly acceptable for you to simply ask for the security that you're desiring, So in these moments where you're feeling insecure in the relationship, feeling like, oh my gosh, like, do they love me? Where is this going? Simply ask for reassurance from them. If your mind is in your head like, oh my gosh, what if they waste my time? Ask them about their timeline. If you're in your head like, oh my gosh, like, what if they're secretly mad at me? Just ask them, hey, are you okay? Are you mad at me? How's your emotions right now? Communication is all you really need to do. We have the 8 of Cups upright. The Devil in reverse. See, these 2 cards are already really strong because the Devil in reverse signifies walking away from your old patterns, old habits that kept you stuck. Like old cycles, karmic cycles are coming to a close for you, group number 2. It feels like you are walking away from unfulfilling, and they may be doing this as well, walking away from unfulfilling relationships and mindsets and ways of doing things in order to seek your 10 of Cups. And I feel like this person with the 8 of Cups coming out, again, it confirms they want the 10 of Cups. Now, if you're unfamiliar with tarot, 10 of Cups is complete emotional fulfillment. A happy, long-term romantic partner who you share a home with, you share a family with, perhaps you're married, perhaps you're not, whatever floats your boat. The whole 9 yards. They want the whole 9 yards. And in the past, they may have only had 8 of Cups, which is like, okay, yeah, this is okay, but it's not everything, And I feel like you're both in that space here where you're wanting the whole package. And with the Devil in reverse, there is some control issues, codependencies that need to be worked through. And I feel like you're doing that. Temperance, exactly. Group number 2, I feel like this reading is wanting to talk more about you than them. Where it's like we were saying, your nervous system may have been very dysregulated in the past. Again, due to your upbringing, due to past relationships, there could have been cycles of like intense love versus intense anxiety, like love bombing versus being betrayed, cycles like that, just craziness, right? And that really throws your nervous system and your hormones out of whack, because then your body is expecting that in the future, even when you're with secure, trustworthy partners. And that's another thing that we need to talk about. When you're so used to toxic relationships, when you finally get into a secure one, it can kind of feel a little boring at points. Because again, you're seeking these really high peaks and valleys, as opposed to the peaceful rolling hills that a healthy, secure relationship is. So with the Temperance card here, I feel like right now, your biggest focus should be on regulating your nervous system, managing your stress levels. And whenever you feel that insecurity popping up in your relationship with this person, like, oh my God, what if they're cheating? What if they're lying? What if they're doing this? Talk to them about it. Just talk to them about it. Okay. And honestly, I'm going to give you some controversial advice here as a tarot reader. Don't constantly seek reassurance from tarot readings. Seek reassurance from them, as well as yourself. You can use affirmations in your favor. When you find yourself in a depression, for example, and your fears are saying everyone hates me, use affirmations. I am loved. And even just telling yourself, my depression, my fears are lying to me, I am actually loved. Just giving yourself that can really take you out of that repetitive negative cycle, which is represented by the Devil card, and bring you into emotional self-regulation, where it's like, yes, your emotions are intense. Your emotions in this relationship are strong, but they are beautifully balanced. And I also want to say, guys, I need to reassure you personally here that this person's feelings for you are equally, if not more intense than yours, okay? So if for whatever reason you're thinking to yourself, I know I love this person more, I have more feelings for them than they do for me, that is a lie. That, again, is your depression, your fears lying to you. This, with the Temperance card coming out, with Othala, which I had to put away because Luna was about to eat it, with the Passion card, with the Eight of Cups, all of the cards here are suggesting that this person has intense feelings towards you. And for whatever reason, if you keep thinking to yourself, they don't have that, it's a lie. Okay. We have the Five of Cups in reverse. This person, again, and I feel like I have to give you some soothing words for some of your fears here. They are over their past. They are not interested in any exes. They are not interested in keeping old connections around. They are not doing anything shisty. Guys, I am happy for you because I think you finally met someone who's trustworthy, who is obsessed with you, who loves you so much. They have plans of having that 10 of Cups with you, And I think you're just so used to toxicity, betrayal, all of that stuff that, perhaps you're in the beginning stages of relationship. And I would say the beginning stages would be like the first 3 years, okay? Where you're going to have to work through a lot of those old wounds and fears. This person, especially with the Temperance angel here, this person has an angelic presence in your life, and I feel like it is through your relationship. Like, this relationship is so healing to your soul and all that you went through. I really do feel like healthy, secure love is like a healing balm to the soul, and this person offers you that. Okay, I'm getting a specific message, and this is only going to apply to some of you, not all of you, but something I'm seeing here is your sexual life with this person may also be healing, especially if you are somebody who has gone through any like assault or anything like that in the past. There's something about being with this person in that way that really helps to heal you. So I am seeing that element as well. We have the 5 of Pentacles. Yeah, fears of loss, fears of abandonment. We have the 4 of Swords in reverse. This is that healing energy that we were just talking about. And then the Page of Pentacles in reverse. See, I don't know why. I feel like you guys are just really waiting and wanting some big development, some big commitment from this person. And you're thinking to yourself, once I have that, I'll know for sure. Ask them about it. That is all you have to do to be reassured. Ask them about it. Like, so, hey, do you see us living together? Do you see us getting married? Do you see us doing this, that, the third, whatever it is that you want? Group number 2, just ask them if they see that. And if the answer is yes, ask them what their timeline is for that. That's not weird. That is you simply making sure that you're on the same page and that your time's not getting wasted, and you don't have to sit in this fear and let it eat away at you. Just get the reassurance, get the answers that you need. And you know what? Even if they say something that you don't want to hear, then that gives you answers as well. You know, there's really no point for you to sit in insecurity. You know, everything that you need to feel secure, you create and cultivate within yourself. So if you're needing security in this relationship, get that gosh darn security. Do something about it. Don't wait. Whenever you find yourself waiting with anything in life, that is you stepping out of your power. Okay? You stepping out of your power feels like waiting. Okay? So don't wait for the situation to improve. Improve the situation now by taking matters into your own hands, getting the security that you need, asking the questions that you need answered, focusing on just enjoying this relationship, having fun with this person. I'm seeing some fun may really be in store here. Like, you may really benefit from just like planning a fun day trip, going out and doing something amazing and like fun together, just purely fun. You know, it's important to have deep emotional conversations, but it's also important to have moments where we're literally just bonding, experiencing and laughing and being silly and playful. So yeah, that is your reading, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Comment how this resonated down below. I'd be so interested to hear. Like this video, subscribe if you've not already. And if you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course. So check it out. Bye-bye. Hello, group number 3, and welcome. Let's see how this person is feeling, what they're going through, what you need to know about this connection. You have Lagoose coming out. So something I'm seeing here is that this person is really just going with the flow. This is the rune of water upright, and this person is definitely just going with the flow at this time. There may be a lot going on emotionally for them. So I'm seeing they're just trying to move with the motions and live day by day. And they may not be super duper intentional about like the next move. But I don't know. That's just something I'm picking up intuitively. Like they may be, I don't know, just enjoying things for what they are, but not necessarily wanting to put a label or... I don't know. They're just enjoying things for what they are right now. I don't know exactly. I'm just getting the feeling really that, there's a lot of messages coming through. It's hard to describe using words. I'm getting the feeling that they may have a lot of emotions and things that they're going through that are sort of beneath the surface. And I'm wondering if this is somebody who has not really been processing emotionally in the way that they should be. And because of that, there's so much tension in this person's body that a lot of their behaviors are subconscious. A lot of their behaviors are like self-soothing and like coping. But it's not conscious coping mechanisms. So for example, this person may play a lot of video games. They may drink a lot. They may just, I don't know, do a lot of different things that are pleasing and relaxing. But they don't realize that they're doing those things as like self-soothing mechanisms, because the emotions that lie beneath the surface have been piling up, going undealt with. This is someone who would really, really benefit from some sort of emotional processing daily ritual. So for example, this was me at one point, to be honest. Like, I really resonate with this person, like with past me. I started journaling 3 full pages every single day at one point in my life for like months. And I forced myself to fill out those 3 pages every day. And it was difficult. Like, when I first started, it took me like 2 hours a day to do that. Obviously, I became a lot better over time at like just letting my thought process flow. But at first it was definitely a little bit awkward and difficult. And I'm like, I don't know what to write. But you have to use the mindset of like, nobody's ever going to read this. Like, literally just let anything that wants to come through. And it was through forcing myself to do that for months that all of this random stuff started just coming up that I didn't even realize was lingering beneath the surface. And the example I use of this is like, at one point in my journaling, like, I started getting really sad and crying about my old dog that had died. And I never cried over her death ever. And she had died like years prior. It was so out of the blue. And I'm like, where was this in me all the time? Like, and that's the thing, like, when we keep these unresolved feelings and emotions, unprocessed memories within us, they influence our subconscious mind, and our subconscious mind makes like 90% of the decisions in life. And so with this person, something that I'm just picking up on intuitively is that they have a lot beneath the surface that needs to be processed, that needs to be worked through. And right now, I'm getting visions in my head of them doing a lot of things to simply take the edge off, to simply self-soothe, because they don't even consciously realize how much stress their body, mind, and soul is under. Like, how much pressure their body, mind, and soul is under. They're not consciously aware of that. And I know for me, it took me, to be honest, like years to feel really conscious of those patterns and like really listen to my body and be able to really, really consciously emotionally process. It took me years to learn that. So I don't know. That's just where I'm seeing this person's at right now in terms of feeling. I don't feel like this is someone who's extremely conscious about themselves, like self-aware. I'm not sure if they're an extremely self-aware person, but let's see. This is the card that you selected from the Lover's Oracle, the White Dove. And it says, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. Wow. So there is a little bit of divine intervention here. And, it really is through these tower moments, these crazy experiences that happen, that truths are revealed. And sometimes we need the chaos, we need the tower moment in order to see things accurately. We have purity. Look at all these like white animals. Like, we have the white wolf here, the white dove. I feel like this person's intentions towards you are pure. They're not a bad person. Okay, so I feel like you need to know that, because maybe you've been questioning that. They're not a bad person. The problem is they are an unhealed person. And I think we all, to some degree, are an unhealed person, But it's like, this is a situation where I feel like this is a good person with a lot of potential. However, they have a lot of work to do emotionally. And I don't know if they are even aware of that, if they're on the journey of that. If this person is not already on an emotional healing and awakening journey, I don't know if I personally would want to be with them. Because here's the thing, I almost feel like this reading is just me talking to my younger self. But like when I was younger, when I was like in my early 20s, a problem that I frequently ran into when dating and being in relationships was I would fall in love with the potential of a person, and like they would be a good person, right? So my past, I dated bad people who clearly had bad intentions, were not nice. But then when I grew out of that, my next problem was that I was dating good people who simply didn't have the intelligence or didn't do the work necessary in order to be fully emotionally available, and ready for what I wanted in a relationship. And they couldn't meet me where I was at in terms of the emotional work and preparedness that I already was offering. Does that make sense? So this person is a good person. They have pure intentions. They have a lot of potential, and you probably see that potential. However, that doesn't necessarily mean that they're in a place emotionally where they're fully emotionally, spiritually, mentally prepared for the things that you may want. And there may be a sense here, and confirm or deny in the comments, there may be a sense here of you being emotionally further along than this person. Not necessarily in terms of like I have more feelings for them, but in terms of I am more ready for what I want relationship wise than this person is. You know, like for example, you may have already done a lot of inner healing work. You may have already sat with your demons and befriended them. You may have already processed a lot of like childhood wounds and things like that. And this person might not have. And they might not have done the research, the work, and the practice in order to learn what a healthy relationship looks like and how to communicate effectively and all that stuff. You know what I mean? They might not know how to set healthy boundaries. They might not have those tools. They might not have healthy coping mechanisms and, the knowledge needed in order to identify when they are acting out of coping and survival as opposed to thriving and intentionality. They might not have the same tools that you have. And I don't want to say that they're dumb, but if I'm going to talk to the unfiltered part of you, you might be thinking to yourself, they're a good person, but they just don't seem intelligent. And this person, it's not that they're dumb. It's not that they're not intelligent. It's just that they haven't done the same work that you've done. And I feel like a lot of you guys may be saying to yourself, trying to keep this person in your life, like, well, that's fine. They were focusing on other things that I wasn't focusing on, and that's life, And I get where you're coming from with that perspective, but at the same time, let's put it like this. Let's just say you want to start a business, and it's a very particular business. Like, let's just say you're wanting to start like an engineering lab. Okay. You want a business partner. And so you can't just pick that person that you love and see so much potential in who has zero experience in engineering and starting a business or literally anything helpful for what you're trying to accomplish. Like, that's not a good business partner for what you're trying to do. Do you understand what I'm saying? So in that scenario, it's very easy for you to identify, that's not the business partner for me. Great person, kind, I love hanging out with them, great person. They're not a good partner for what I'm trying to do business-wise, right? You need to look at your love life in the same way, where it's like this person, very attractive, amazing person, very pure. However, they don't have the emotional skills necessary in order to have what I'm looking for. And that's fine. That's fine. I dated someone like that. I dated someone who on paper was perfect. Like literally everything that I could have wanted, everything my family could have wanted for me, etc., etc. But that person like totally had zero relationship skills and came from a culture that really has like almost backwards relationship skills. So even though they were a good person, they were kind, they were intelligent, they were leagues behind me, I think, in terms of knowledge, tools, and skills necessary to have the high quality relationship that I was looking for. And if I would have stayed with that person, they would have always been behind me on that, because I continue to grow, evolve, expand, trying to become a better person, a better partner all the time. So I had to face the reality that even though they're a great person, even though there was a lot that could have worked, a lot of potential, I always would have had this sense of them trailing behind me and kind of pulling me down, And I don't know if that's the situation that you're in. If it's not, if this doesn't resonate with you, like, by all means, do not force this message to apply to a situation where that is not the case. But I don't know. Okay. We have woman holding a coin in reverse here. So another thing that I'm seeing that may be of concern here is I'm not sure if this person has clear intentions towards you. Like, they may just be like, oh, I'm just trying to, like, see where this goes. And again, I feel like I'm talking to my younger self here, guys. If you know what you want in a relationship very explicitly, like you want a long-term relationship or you want a soulmate, you want to get married one day, do not waste your time trying to date people who do not know what they want. And there are phrases that basically mean, I don't know what I want and I'm going to waste your time. And those phrases are, I just want to see what happens. Or, oh, I don't like putting labels on things. I like the freedom of just, enjoying each other and not having to put us in a box. What these all are saying is that person doesn't know what they want and they're not looking for commitment, okay? Like 90% of the time, if I'm being really honest, those are just people that are just trying to have something casual. And that's fine, if you want that, or if you're just, doing that self-exploration. But if you're very clear on what you want, I would highly recommend not even meeting people unless they're clear about wanting the same thing. You know what I mean? Like, if you're using dating apps, for example, and you know that you want to get married one day and you're there to look for your life partner, don't even go on a first date with someone who isn't on the same page with that. Like, ask them that before you even meet is my recommendation. Okay. It feels like this person, they enjoy you. They like you. We have Lagus, which is the rune of emotions. They may even love you, having strong, pure emotions towards you. But I'm seeing a lack of structure here. This person lacks intentionality. They feel like an NPC, a non-playable character in video games, which is essentially like a background character. If you've been getting the same vibe, it's because this person lacks intentionality. They are somebody who just truly is pushed along by the events, the circumstances of their life, molded by society, molded by, whatever. This person's third eye chakra may be very closed. Okay, especially, here's another thing. If this person is one of those people who, like, for example, like, are very closed off to the idea of, like, astrology, magic, manifestation, spirituality, if they're like a stone cold atheist, or like, science is science and anything that isn't proven by science is not real, does not exist. Like, even things that are scientifically proven, they've never personally read the research and they'll start like rebuttaling you for talking about it. Like, for example, like, there is literal science that has been done that showed that the vibration of water changes based off of like positive versus negative affirmations. And it's very fascinating. And, that's something that science has been researching. But this person, if they didn't personally read that research, they may be like, no, blah, blah, blah. If they're that type of person, I think this is just further confirmation of the type of person that they are. And they lack intentionality. they are very much not really a conscious thinker. As weird as that sounds, they lack consciousness. They may be still caught up in like the Matrix, if you're into that idea. We have the rabbit in reverse. Okay, I see what we're dealing with. This person is very lustful. Your relationship with them, most of you, not all of you, may really be centered around physical intimacy and any insecurities, problems, or issues that you have in this relationship. I am wondering if they are a little bit masked by that passion. Like you may have like a bomb love life with this person, like a bomb sex life, really good. This person may also use that, like their sex life, as one of their many coping mechanisms to deal with the amount of stress and pressure that they're under in life. And so they view that as like a stress reliever. I don't know, guys. It depends what you want. Like, if you're not really sure about what you want, if you're not looking for anything, if you're just kind of looking to be casual, this person might be a good match for you, but it feels like they kind of just... Another thing is, here's another thing. I think if you are, especially if you're a divine feminine individual, really in touch with that part of yourself, if you practice magic, witchcraft, manifestation, I do believe that you could use your charm, your magic, your divinity to manifest a relationship with this person. But here's why I would heavily advise not to use your charm to do that. You will always end up feeling like the giver in this relationship, the one who's pushing things along, the only one initiating relationship growth. And that can be exhausting after a while. And listen to your friends, listen to the people around you. They may even be worried that, like, oh, group number 3, like you seem as like magic as you usually are, or like you don't really seem like yourself. If you use your spiritual assets, your magic to keep this relationship together and build it closer and closer and closer, but you're pouring so much intentional energy into doing that, you're sort of wasting a lot of your magic that should be used to pour into yourself, into your life, into growing the things that you want to grow for you, such as your finances, your health, soul-fulfilling friendships, a home, things like that. That's where your magic should be going towards. Your goals, dreams, wishes, yourself. And I do see that it would be possible to get your desired outcome in this relationship through your excellent manipulation of energy. But again, I would heavily advise not to waste your energy in that way. Find someone who has already done the emotional work and is emotionally prepared for the relationship that you're seeking. Find someone who wants and is very clear about wanting the type of relationship that you want. It's a game changer because think of it like this. If you use your feminine woes, your magic, your charm to pull this relationship in the direction that you want it to, I want you to imagine your horse that is tied to another horse, them. And you're trotting along and you're literally dragging them behind you. You know what I mean? That's the vision that I get if you do that, right? Whereas when you find somebody who wants the same exact things that you want, it's very intentional, very open about that. It's like two horses both moving in the same direction at the same time. And because there's two of you now, you can go even faster. You can get so much accomplished. So many blessings, opportunities, more growth is possible than if you were to be in the first scenario, which is this scenario where you're dragging along the other horse. You're not going to get very far. You're going to burn yourself out. And then all your other horse friends are going to look at you like, you look tired. Like you're looking sickly. Like, where's your magic? You know, maybe at one point in time you were this free, majestic horse just running through open fields, so strong and silky hair and, you know, very magical, mystical. And now you're just dragging along this dead weight, and it's making you thin, it's making you sickly, you're exhausted, there's bags under your eyes, you don't have that same majestic quality. Your friends are being like, girl, boy, what are you doing? You don't look so good. Like, it just drains your vital essence. I don't know how else to describe it. Whereas, you know, being that free, majestic horse by yourself in the field, and you find another one, you lock eyes with another one, and it's like you both want to go in the same direction, and now you're running parallel. And because you're running alongside someone else who has the same goals, visions, dreams, you feel even more strong, even more inspired. You're able to run faster. You're able to access so much energy deep from within yourself and pull your energies together to create an even bigger pool of energy. It's just life-changing. And that's the sort of love that I think you deserve. And I just want to clarify here, this person that we're talking about, yeah, they love you. They do have feelings. And that's why, you know, you see so much potential in this, because you're picking up on their feelings and you're just making excuses like, oh, well, it's because of their childhood. It's because of the way they were raised. It's because of their current circumstances that they, you know, don't want this. They don't want that. I'll help them figure this out. And that whole thought process of like, oh, well, you know, I'll encourage them to do this and then they'll do that. And like trying to fix this person, trying to be their therapist or their mother or something like that. That is you using your magic to pull along that dead weight. And yeah, that person is going to get a lot further along in life without doing any work. You know, you're going to cause so much character development for them without them lifting a finger. And it's going to leave you exhausted. It's going to leave you miserable. It's going to leave you thinking like, did I just waste all of this time? So yeah. Anyways, we have discovery with the root chakra. Yeah. You open up a whole lot of potential in this person. You open their mind up. You open their heart up to new things they never even thought about. Full moon in Gemini, the answers you need are coming. Very ominous, you know, with this card and this card saying like, through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. The answers you need are coming. Full moons are times of release, letting go, and also complete clarity. Like, you know exactly where things stand emotionally during times of full moons. And you know what's funny? I was in like somewhat of a similar relationship to this before. And every full moon, we would get into like an argument. And it was always the same argument. It never got resolved because that particular person would just get into the defensive whenever I would bring any issue up, which, you know, is a core problem in relationships. Like, you can't have a relationship with somebody if they don't know how to communicate. Just point blank, period. Full moons really illuminate truths. Okay, so pay attention to anything that comes through during full moons for you, emotionally and in relationships especially. Because chances are there's a lot of truth. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. I am wondering if this person is like shamelessly selfish at this point in their life. They may be working on some sort of big ambition, goal, or dream. And they may even tell you like, listen, I'm doing this thing. Like, I don't have time for a relationship. I don't think I can give you what you desire or what you deserve. And by the way, that's another tip for my younger folks out there. If someone tells you that you deserve better, you do. 100% of the time. If someone tells you that they can't give you what you deserve, they are being honest. Like, they are literally being honest with you. And that is your cue to move on. Like, what they're saying is, you are already emotionally ready for these big things that I am not emotionally ready for. And I cannot offer you that. That's what they're saying. They are literally saying, I cannot give you what you want, and I am not going to be able to change anytime soon. That is not your message to wait and try to change their mind, guys. That is your message to be like, thank you so much for telling me that. I wish you all the best in what you're doing. It was nice meeting you. And then you walk away. Okay. That is not your cue to then get into a relationship with them and be waiting for the rest of your life. Okay. We have the Page of Cups in reverse. Yeah. I just simply don't think that this person can give you what you want right now, because they're at a place emotionally within themselves where they're like in survival mode. They can't think about futures. They can't think about deeper commitment. They can't think about taking care of another heart. They can barely take care of themselves. And they may say that to you literally very upfront, like, I can barely take care of myself. I cannot take care of a relationship right now. That is, again, not your invitation to then be like, oh, well, I can take care of you and blah, blah. No. Oh my gosh. This person's trying to tell you every which way. I don't think they're a liar. I think they're being very honest and you're just not listening to them. Temperance in reverse. Oh my gosh. See, here's where you're getting yourself confused, group number 3. You can tell that this person really, really likes you. Okay. But again, that does not mean that they're compatible with you. That does not mean they're going to change. That does not mean that they're in a place where they can have a healthy relationship. And when temperance comes out in reverse, to me, this is like really strong highs and lows emotions within you that are overpowering. Like it just consumes every second, you know, these deep, deep feelings, like big, intense anxiety and love. And man, I just want to be together. And, you know, I need clarity. It's like a lot of emotional confusion because of how strong your emotions are. When it's in reverse, it's like uncontrollable emotions, and it's like too much. The peaks and valleys are too far apart. It's then becomes a little bit more on the toxic side, like not healthy, strong emotions. We have the 8 of Wands. Communication will be coming in very shortly. I think there will be truths that are revealed to you in the near future. You know, the answers you need are coming. Through turmoil, blessings will be revealed. So if I were you, group number 3, what I would do right now is ask your angels, ask your spirit guides, ask the universe. Universe, give me the truth of this relationship, no matter what that truth may be, and turn me into somebody who can see that truth very clearly without wearing rose-colored glasses. Allow me to see the truth of who this person is, what they can and cannot offer clearly, and turn me into somebody who has the strength and the confidence to take action that will protect my peace and lead me to my greatest good, even if it's difficult. The Devil in reverse. So again, I'm seeing a lot of sexuality with this person. I feel like they will keep trying to keep that part of your relationship alive. And I do feel like they will be on a journey of personal maturity and growth and sitting with their demons, all of those things that you've already done. I do feel like they will make some progress with those things in life. However, I just want to remind you that doesn't mean that you have to be a part of that journey and wait for them. Does that make sense? And one of the messages that I feel coming through is, well, I'm actually getting a lot of angelic presences here. I am wondering if any of you prayed for certain angels to heal this person's heart and work with them emotionally to turn them into the person that, you know that they can be. Those prayers work, and there are a team of angels working with this person to pull them out of their own restrictions and to open up their consciousness, right? Now, here's a tough message that's going to be like a hard pill to swallow for you. I'm getting the message from these angels that this process is going to take years. You will not feel like this person is ready and at your level for several years. That is how long it will take. And that's why there's this message here of you don't have to be a part of that journey. Because if you're already ready, you already have done that work, you already know where you stand and where you're at. It goes back to that horse metaphor that we gave earlier, Years. We have the King of Cups in reverse. Yeah, because where they're at right now is a lot of emotional immaturity. Again, I really feel guided to reconfirm this is not a bad person. They're a really good person and they do have feelings for you. And I can see why you see so much potential within them. But they have so much emotional work to do, guys. I can't emphasize how long it will take. I'm not exaggerating when I say years before they're at the maturity level, an emotional level where they can really actually give you what you're looking for. And if you were to stick by their side during that time and try to nudge them along quicker, it's going to feel like the Temperance card in reverse, where it's like every moon cycle, you're annoyed, you're anxious, you're having a panic attack, you feel like you're draining your magic. It's not going to be a pleasant ride to be along with, to be a part of. And so I feel like some space may be in your best interest here, to be honest. And with the Devil card in reverse, I actually feel like, there is lessons here for you as well. You're not anybody's therapist. You're not anybody's mother or father. Well, okay, some of you guys might be therapists. You might be a mother. You might be a father. But when it comes to your personal romantic relationship, you are not supposed to be a therapist. You are not supposed to be that person's teacher. You're not supposed to be that person's mother or father. You're supposed to be partners, equally prepared and ready and willing to have what you have. You know what I mean? So, final card out, the Tower in reverse. Yep. Tower in reverse. If you do not want to listen to the advice in this reading, that is fine. But group number 3, you're well protected. In this universe, spiritually, you have guides looking out for you. And there will be a truth that will come through that will rock your world if you ignore this advice and force you to leave this person. Wow. So, do you want to wait for that to happen unexpectedly? Do you want the emotional devastation that comes with you? So basically what I'm saying is, if you keep ignoring that this person is emotionally immature, not ready, doesn't know what they want, that those same traits within them is eventually going to lead them to make choices that are stupid. And you're going to find out about those stupid choices. And it's going to end this relationship either way. So the choice is yours. You can have the self-respect and self-love to say, you know what, I do deserve someone. And, you know, while still being so loving towards this person, saying and admitting, I do deserve someone who can meet me where I'm at, who's ready for what I want. And choosing to go in that direction and parting ways with this person, maybe even just being friends with them. You know what I mean? You don't even have to burn a bridge if you don't want. You know, creating enough space so that way this person can be on their healing journey without dragging you all through it, all in the ups and downs of it. Or you can say, you know what, I want to experience the temperance reverse energy, which is just pure chaos every single month. High highs, low lows, that eventually just leads to like mid highs and really low lows and beyond. And eventually have the traits that I'm ignoring in this person be a devastating truth that's revealed and downfall. Because the wisdom of the tower is that nothing can be built on top of a shaky foundation. And what you have here in this person is a weak foundation. They don't have the foundation to have a healthy long-term relationship. So you building that tower looks like you using your magic to make this relationship happen nevertheless. And you can build and build and build. And what that looks like is you spending more and more time with this person and your feelings getting deeper for this person. And you're ignoring the fact that you're building all of this off of that weak foundation. And what happens is eventually, when the emotions get too big, when the tower gets too tall, there will be a storm that comes through and it will knock that tower down. And it will be even more devastating after all that time you've spent building emotions and experiences, as opposed to just, you know, admitting that you're not compatible here and now and cutting your losses. So, I don't know. Choice is yours. I think I got the message through clearly. Thank you for joining me. Such a positive reading. If it resonated though, and that's something you need to hear. If this didn't resonate, then don't listen to it, you know? So yeah, do what feels right in your soul at the end of the day. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely comment how it resonated. I would love to hear. Like this video, subscribe if you've not already. If you want a personal reading with me one-on-one, the link to that is always in the description box, spiritpsychic.org. I also offer my intention oils there, shamanic life coaching sessions there, as well as my online tarot reading course. So check it out. Bye-bye.